homesteaders and pioneers, they had to preserve everything. When the winters are 8 months long, you know, you can't survive off of just game or potatoes and root vegetables. You know, you want to have a little variety. So I learned how to can in a very DIY fashion. I just kind of started doing it. I think I bought a book. I was lucky with a few of my first recipes where they just turned out really well, and I was like, okay, I think I have a knack for this. I knew that I wanted to kind of play around with flavors a little bit, and one of the first ones I came up with was a Plum Sage Jam. It's really tart, it's got a nice savory characteristic, kind of similar to a cranberry relish. It's just me playing around in the kitchen, just having fun, and just thinking what can pair well with a fruit, and what can pair well with a vegetable, and how can I take, like, you know, something and slightly tweak it.
So these are Italian plums.
Yeah, these are Italian plums. If you drive around Bozeman, a lot of yards will have them. One of the reasons that this was like kind of my first recipe is because, you know, you can find them everywhere. So I just asked somebody if I could pick their plums and came up with this Plum Sage Jam that we're making.
And so what made you think to use, especially sage? It's kind of like rosemary. Like,
right.
It has a really, really forward flavor.
Yeah, I wanted something that was kind of like borderline savory, something that you could have, you know, at the Thanksgiving dinner table. Probably my favorite jam we make.
Nice. And you use a lot less sugar than commercial jelly or jam makers, right?
Yes, correct. I just like to be able to taste the fruit. When you have a jam that's, you know, mostly sugar, you don't taste the fruit, you taste the sweetness. And I want to still be able to taste the characteristics of the fruit. And so that's kind of why we pulled back on the sugar. And, you know, it makes for a healthier jam.
Sure.
It makes it a little more versatile as to what you can do with it. You can use these in all sorts of cooking applications. You can, you know, put them on pork. You can, you know, do all sorts of baking with them.
Cheese plate.
Yeah, just on a cheese plate, exactly.
So the process for making jam, I mean, it's really pretty simple, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you just put everything in a pot and let it simmer.
Yeah, exactly. All we're really doing is cooking down the fruit. All of this fruit has pectin in its skin. We add a little extra pectin so that we get the consistency that we want. But yeah, in essence, all you really need is sugar and fruit.
We've mentioned the Plum Sage Jam, obviously. Tell me some of the other stuff that you're making.
You know, we have our kind of staples that we distribute nationwide, and that's our curried carrot, our sweet beet and garlic pickle, and our dill pickle. Those are kind of our standbys. We make a few other small batch things when we can get the right produce, whatever's kind of available to us, but the ones that we focus on are those three. And then as far as jams, we do a raspberry vanilla, a blueberry-lavender, and a blackberry-Earl Grey. Those are our 3 berry jams.
Yum.
And then we have a apple butter and then the plum sage. And those are the main ones that we focus on. I've probably made, I don't know, 10 to 15 different types of jams.